Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment. Today is Friday, July 7th, and the Yankees are kicking off a weekend set with the Cubs. Carlos Rodon, the Yankees' big free agent acquisition, is making his Yankees debut after missing the first few months with an injury. Tonight, I am joined by Pete from NYY News TV, and we will break it all down for you. NYY Recaps coming up next.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Well, everybody, welcome back. If you enjoy recaps about the Yankees getting 2 hits and getting shut out, boy, have we got a show for you. Pete from NYY News TV joining me. We just called the game on his channel, Game Season Live. They do the watch parties every single night. Pete, how you hanging in there after this one?
Not by much.
You look like you
Not by much.
Very
Does anybody
thin thread there.
Does anybody got the number to that Better Health line, the hotline? I think I need to call them tonight.
You're looking like third act Jerry Maguire there, running out.
So
Rod Tidwell. Oh,
I'm
man.
so done. That last double play right there actually hurt more than it probably should have.
The Volpe one? Yeah, the
Volpe, it just
tonight.
hurt more. It hurt more than it probably should have.
This is an easy one to recap, honestly. Rodon pitched, fine. 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, gave up a home run to Bellinger. Yankees had 1 hit after the first inning, and that's not going to get it done. Just the same approach, a lot of guys swinging and bailing, and that's why you see a lot of soft ground balls. And just a completely lifeless offense right now. And, I see a lot of people blaming Dylan Lawson. I don't know if we can really blame him. I mean, he's just a symptom. How many hitting coaches do you have to fire before you realize it's not coming from the hitting coach?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Look, I mean, you could be upset with his comments and maybe the way that it's running, but as of right now, I think it's an organizational type thing. And the team right now, I mean, I don't know what the answer is for this offense. I mean, it's maybe one of the worst Yankee offenses I can remember day in and day out. I don't remember an offense this bad since I've been watching baseball for the Yankees.
Tim says, diehard Optimist fan, but the last 3 days have been extremely hard to watch. I'm glad the All-Star break is coming. I think we all kind of need just give me a minute. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes my wife, when I wake up in the morning, will start talking to me like immediately. And it's just like, just give me a minute to adjust to still being on this planet. Like I wasn't counting on this today. Like,
I wasn't expecting to wake up there.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed, honestly. And I, that's kind of how I feel watching the Yankee game now. It's like, I try and do the recap and it's just like, what is there to say? It's the same story every night. I usually say you can't get 4 or 5 hits every night. And tonight they one-upped me. Or, they did worse. They got 2 hits off of Jameson Taillon, who entered this game with a 6.4 something ERA.
Yeah.
His stuff wasn't incredible. It was all right. What are we going to do here, man? What?
I'll be honest. Like when you just brought that up, it's like, that's the funniest thing about it is we knew it was going to happen, but we just can't, it's like one of those things where it's like, I know it's real, but then when I see it, I'm like, oh, but it's like, you knew the whole time. Like you knew that was happening. It's like your wife is leaving the house every night in another car at 7 o'clock. Then you find out there's an affair going on. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's like everybody knew, bro. What are you doing? That's the thing with this team. You knew when Taillon was coming in with a 6.8 something ERA, whatever it was. You're like, he's going to shut the Yankees down, isn't he? And everybody's like, nah, they're probably going to hit Taillon. It's like, he shut him down. Oh, well, I could see that too. Derek, I do not know what the answer is. I really don't. This is the first time I can honestly sit here and go, I almost feel clueless to what this team has to do. I mean, I think we have ideas, but they're not doing it. They're not going to do it. So I don't know.
Brett Deutsch says, Volpe is the only guy going up there with an approach. Rest of the lineup is going up there and swinging for the fences. Look, Volpe did have some good at-bats, and we'll talk about that. But we should probably touch on Carlos Rodon. I'm sure a lot of people tuning in, next day, missed the game tonight, want to know how Carlos Rodon looked. I mean, honestly, I was impressed. I thought maybe they left him out there a little bit too long, had good zip on the fastball. What were your takeaways from Carlos?
I'm very happy. I am very, very happy. Somebody came in the chat at the end of the day. I was like, oh, look, Rodon got hammered. I'm like, no, you must have missed, because he definitely did not. I think he looked very, very good. The thing I like most about him in his first start is his command was there. He like you said, towards that 5th inning, you kind of could see, you're like, all right, he's definitely a little bit too amped up for this game. He's probably a little tired, which is understandable. And I thought he was going to be done. They brought him back out. He didn't give him a run that inning. At the end of the day, they got out of it. But I'm even more excited now for his next outing in the second half. As long as he's on that mound, I'm very excited to see what he could do. And I do think he's a guy that you'll see progress and just get better and better as the second half continues. And now you kind of have something to look forward to the second half, is that 1-2 punch of Cole and Rodon that we've been waiting for.
What we saw tonight, what I kind of saw from Rodon was a guy who hit that peak performance there in about the 3rd, 4th inning, but he just didn't have the gas in the tank right now, or he hasn't been built up enough to carry it through the 6th, 7th. But we saw, I think what we're going to see, which is a guy who, after it took him a few, maybe 3-4 batters where he wasn't really K-ing guys, he got into that rhythm. He had a couple of strikeouts. He was getting a lot of easy outs. But once he got 30 pitches in, he was just cruising for about the next 25 pitches. And then he started to slow down.
Yeah, and the pitch to Bellinger wasn't a great pitch. I mean, it was right in the wheelhouse. He turned on. He was probably sitting fastball, and he just absolutely launched it. I mean, other than that, there wasn't any time today that I was sitting there going, a lot of misses, Derek, a lot of, hanging sliders. You mentioned a couple of times, he had some filthy sliders today.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can leave today's start and go, I'm worried about the next one. I think you're looking at it now going, okay, the pitch is not the problem. We understand that, but it's good to get our guy that we knew we were getting, and him coming back and looking the way he did tonight.
Let me ask you this, because they're going to face a decision now. Who comes out of the rotation? Is it Severino or is it Schmidt? At this point, I take Severino out.
Can't be. I mean, it can't be Clark. I mean, no matter what people want to say about Clark, maybe he gives you 4 2/3, 5 1/3, 5 innings. He's giving you 5 innings.
Severino gives you an out.
And he's taking you out of the game immediately. Yeah. I mean, knowing that your offense is bad now, at the end of the day, no offense is coming back every time your pitcher's given 7 runs a game, 8 runs a game. But yeah, you got to play this fair and go, hey, look, Sevy, you want to help my guy, might be out of the bullpen. We might see what you can do. If you could dial it back and throw 100 with your slider only, that might be your job the rest of the season. But as of right now, you're not in the rotation.
So Bellinger, beautiful swing tonight. That swing is tailor-made for Yankee Stadium. What do you think it would take to get him? And I mean, how much would you be willing to go to get him right now? I don't know if he fixes everything, but you need him.
I'd overpay.
Yeah, I would too. I think so.
I'd overpay. I mean, as of right now, look, I mean, come on, man. I mean, look, Yankee fans, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's what I always preach. I preach that I'm just going to tell you how I feel all the time. My thing with this club right now is you're not going to win nothing at all if you don't try to change up this offense. By the end of this week, by the beginning of the start of the second half of the season, Bellinger should be a Yankee if the pipe dream of Soto isn't going to happen. And there's a lot of rumors now that they're not going to trade him, so maybe they won't trade him, whatever. Pipe dream as it is, we'll see what happens. But I'd overpay for Bellinger at this point. And I would say, Josh Donaldson, see you up the river, my guy. Adios. Yeah. And I'd have Peraza at third base, and I'd have Bellinger in the Yankee outfield immediately. As quick as I can. I wouldn't even let him leave.
Yeah, keep him in town. Don't let him get on a plane. Rhyme for Reason says, house built for left-handed power hitters. How many do we have? Preaching to the choir, my friend. Preaching to the choir. Let's take a look at this box score here because, I mean, this is filthy. Yankees got 2 hits. Torres with a base hit up the middle in the first inning, and then my pick of the game, Franchi Cordero, with a meaningless single in the bottom of the ninth. Look,
my pick was 0 for 3 today. He's been 0 for his last 86.
Yeah, I mean, we got to talk about, Rizzo and Stanton and Donaldson. I just don't know what you do other than wait for the contracts to run out. Look, Rizzo, he seems to have had this problem ever since joining the Yankees where he gets off to a hot start, something happens. He gets COVID, he gets hit by Tatis. Something happens to throw him off the tracks, and then he can't get back on.
Yep.
It's frustrating.
I don't. Yeah, it's really, really bad because he's a guy that this team relies on, and you're right. It's been the same thing year in and year out. At this point with Josh Donaldson, you just got to be done. I mean, I get it. I know you mentioned you hope by the All-Star game, the All-Star break, that is it for him, and they release him. Maybe they will. I think maybe they let him go almost all of August to see what the deadline looks like. Because look, I hate saying it. I feel like they don't even really feel Peraza is going to be the guy to take over. I feel like maybe it's a trade they make to put somebody at third base, and Peraza is still just chilling in the minors.
It's a weird situation with Peraza because, he was a top prospect and they don't trade him and they don't play him. What's the point? What are you doing?
No
I don't
idea.
get it. I've been watching baseball for 37 years now. I don't understand their approach with Peraza. Not only does he not get called up, he was up for a bit. He got hurt, but now you got Donaldson struggling. You won't call him up. You're not even playing him in the same position every day. You're not giving him a chance to succeed.
Exactly.
You're not putting him in the position to succeed.
Yep.
It's just bad human capital management, honestly.
And I mean, if you also said to yourself, like as an organization, I know here's what I would do. I would literally make sure we, not really make an announcement, but it's going to be headlines, right? That we say, hey, Oswald Peraza every day is playing third base. I'd have him every single day at third base in the minor leagues. Just so Donaldson can see, hey, look, the longer this goes, this kid is going to replace you. And see if maybe that lights a fire on him. Because he's probably sitting back too saying, who are they putting over me? Who's playing over me?
Look at these goddamn averages. 217, 245, 258, 199, 259, 140, 239, 224, and 158.
Derek,
Jesus.
I would beg to have the lineup back with Wells and Lyle Overbay in it at this moment.
Give me Kevin Youkilis and Troy Tulowitzki.
I mean, I'm not even joking when I think this might be the worst offensive Yankee club that I've seen in my lifetime. I really think it is. I think.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
So
34.
So what year is that? That's,
when I really started was 98. Was like when I first started recognizing it, baseball, understanding it a little bit.
Fair. So I first started watching my first game was in 91, but really 87, 88 was when I first started to know who Don Mattingly was and all that. And I'd say 91/92 was the worst. I mean, the team was completely boring. We went to a bunch of games and they never won. They never hit home runs. It took me 4 years of going to Yankee games to see him hit a home run in person. Isn't that ridiculous? First one was Don Mattingly. This is an interesting chat from DG. He says that, Volpe was hitting well and on a streak. Time to put him in the leadoff spot and end it. I agreed with putting him in the leadoff spot, but, maybe they should have let him soak in the bottom of the lineup a little bit. Problem is nobody else is hitting,
Nobody. Yep.
I mean, DJ, we talked about this before the game, I think, or maybe it was during. How many leadoff hitters have the Yankees had in the last 2 weeks? It was,
I think it was five or six, we said, right?
5 in the last 2 weeks. So it was DJ,
Bowers,
it was Rizzo, Bowers, Torres, and Volpe.
Yeah.
I mean, has anybody else let off? I don't think. I know Donaldson has let off this season, and I know that. I don't know. I don't think Bader has. He might.
No,
have.
I don't think Bader ever has. I know Rizzo has. As of the last 2 weeks, we got 5 guys.
Yeah.
That has let off.
The constant lineup changes are a complete pain in the ass. I want to let you comment on the lineups, but first I gotta take care of some business. I gotta keep the lights on. This episode sponsored by the Game Time app. Last minute tickets to events near you: baseball, football, basketball, hockey, wrestling, theater, comedy, all the events that you could want to go to. Game Time has them, and they got incredible prices. I saw some Yankee games on there for $1, $2. Not the greatest seats, but you can view the seats in the app, the view. So you can pick what you want and pick a price that's affordable to you. Rain out protection. Use the code NYY Recaps for $20 off, and $20 off of your first purchase, I should say, and get Game Time Lowest prices on last-minute tickets guaranteed.
Boom.
So the lineups, they change every friggin' day.
I got a fun stat for you real quickly. Anthony Rizzo, over his last 27 games, 167 average, no home runs. Giancarlo Stanton, over his last 25 games, 2 home runs, 151 average. How do you win? How do you win ball games when the middle league orders doing that?
It's impossible. It's impossible. Rhyme or Reason says, you call Franchi and leave the prospect with 21 homers in AAA. Bring Peraza up. DFA Josh Donaldson. Get Bellinger, please. So I assume 21 home runs. Is that Florial?
That's Florial, yep.
So we talked a little bit about this before we went live, too. So the reason why they don't call him up is because of the strikeout rate in AAA. It's about 35%, which is obscene. And that translates to about 50% at the major league level. And they just don't want somebody striking out half the time right now. Now, you make the point, and it's a very good point, and I agree with this on some nights. Like, if you ask me Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I'll probably agree with you. Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, I might not. He's possibly worth the roster spot just for his glove right now. Just to run down and catch the baseball. Run prevention because you're not scoring.
And I'll even say this. If he maintained that K rate, maybe even get, even at 40%, he might be more productive some of the guys they got running out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance he might still hit 220. Yeah. And that's a scary thing about this club, because typically you would just say, even I said that about Peraza. If you call Peraza up and he hit 220, he's a huge improvement over Donaldson. That's how bad these guys are. And the Yankees are just sitting back saying none of it's a problem. Not a big deal.
Brett Deutsch says that Donaldson swings a heavy bat. That's a great point. He does swing an enormous baseball bat.
DJ LeMahieu.
Oh, DJ, sorry, yeah. That's a really good point. You wonder if, guys get used to the same thing. This is my bat. This is the DJ LeMahieu model or whatever. But maybe sometimes as age begins to catch up with you, you do need to make some adjustments, like going to a smaller bat. That's an interesting... Yep. See, that's what they mean when they say that Yankees fans are smarter than,
we look at everything. Yankee fans look at absolutely everything. It could be his cleats are different for a day.
Right.
And it's because he wore those cleats today.
Yeah.
I mean, we are looking at absolutely everything.
Doug Rao, usually pretty, sober responses to, a lot of the Yankees topics. He's not one of those guys who's quick to say, oh, flush him or anything like that. Yep. And he says, look at the route IKF took on the double last night. Put Florial out there. And I agree.
He cut a straight line over. And he's like, oh, last minute away. That's 10 feet over Mad.
And these are catchable balls, too. And the ones that he's short hopped the last couple of nights, too. YouTube commenter says, the hitting coach is a major problem. Are the local media asking about his job security? Tim's got killed. Lawson seems to be getting a pass. You're not wrong. But here's the thing. How many hitting coaches can you fire? Because they fired Tim's. They fired the guy before Tim's.
That's the thing. You're right.
It's like it has to start above Tim's. Like if you keep, let's say that you got, let's say you hire house cleaners, right? Or no, let's say that you run a restaurant, right? And the meals keep being shit no matter how many times you change the menu, right? It's like either the ingredients or the staff, somebody's, pissing in the onions, something's going on.
Pissing in the onions.
Or, you replace the head chef 20 times and the meals still suck. Maybe it's the directive from the owner on what the restaurant,
Maybe it's the quality of the food you're bringing in that isn't up to standard for what what the price point is or something. But I agree with you on that, man. It's an organizational philosophy that is happening. Because I'll tell you guys this. How many of their top prospects are hitting 280, 290? Find me one. Find me one Yankee top prospect that we expect to be very good that's hitting for a high average this season.
Yeah, they don't value it. They, like you said, launch angle and exit velocity seem to be the thing, and it just doesn't seem to work. You can't put together rallies like that. They're banking on getting a walk and a home run at some point, but the league has adjusted. The league knows that they're hunting fastballs at certain points, and they're just avoiding throwing them those pitches.
Yep.
What a nightmare.
And and again, that's like the conundrum that the Yankees are in right now, and all of us are in as content creators, is you can say a lot of the same stuff every single day because It's exactly what we're seeing. I wish I knew the answer, but I do believe the answer is coming, has to come from outside this organization a little bit. I do believe Peraza is the answer at third. I do believe that Bellinger should be a target. Hell, the way he looked tonight, the audition he did today, I just go ahead and make a call, but hey, whatever it takes, let's get a deal done.
Yeah, get him over to our clubhouse right now. So Ronnie, I want to post this up here again, says that Chris Carter batted .201 in 2017 and got released in July. Donaldson hitting .140 and still bats in the middle of the lineup.
It's hard, man.
It's amazing the way that this game has changed, and the Yankees just do not care about hits at all.
None whatsoever, man.
Florial hitting .295 in AAA. Look, I don't know what the Yankees, I mean, aside from the strikeout rate, which is very high, I don't know what metrics the Yankees are looking at with him that they're saying it won't, that they just don't like him,
Yeah, that's all I say about it is that, look, at the end of the day, they don't like him. I mean, that is the Yankees' choice to do, whether we, are upset about it or not. The Yankees do not like Estevan Florial. And look, at the end of the day, when I had Kratz on, I asked him, I said, Kratz, you know about this kid a lot. He had the highest praise you'll hear. And he said it. He said they will not give him a chance. They're not going to. He said, I asked him, I said, is 54 at-bats over 3 years fair? And he goes, no way. But the Yankees aren't going to give him a chance. You would want to, see 250 at-bats, 200 at-bats over a stretch of actually playing games. But he's not going to get that chance here, folks. The best thing that can happen to that kid is he's doing so good that maybe he's included in the deal and he gets a shot somewhere else.
Yeah, Eric Lavoie says promote him or trade him. The problem is any team could have had him for free, so nobody's going to want to, unless he's a throw-in,
He'll be a throw-in in a deal, potentially, yeah.
Doug Rao brings up Everson Pereira, who we have to talk about. He's hitting .299 between the two levels. He's shown some power. I've been watching a lot more highlights on him because he's getting closer and closer. When I look at his swing, I see JD Martinez.
Yeah, he has a good swing, a lot of power. His biggest problem has been what a lot of Yankee players' problem is. He can't stay on the field. But he's a guy that potentially could be an answer. I think he's going to be a guy to end up trading. But we'll see. I know he just recently got the call up. Had a couple of good games already at AAA. Homered in his first at bat. Had a couple of hits the next day. He's always been a guy that's been overshadowed just because Dominguez and Jones and guys like that are in the system. But always getting high praise. As long as he's on the field, he's been productive. Strikes out a bit much, but he's been very productive.
Tommy says all in for Bellinger, but we also need more bats. Yeah, I don't think one bat is going to help. That's one of the reasons that even though I love Soto and I know you're on the Juan Soto train, I don't want to empty the farm for him because I just don't think that he fixes. I would rather get a Bellinger and a Newt Bar and maybe a one other guy. I would like to call up my ideal lineup in August will include Peraza at third base, Bellinger in left field, and then, maybe somebody who can trade off with Josh Donald or with Giancarlo Stanton and give us some actual numbers out of the DH spot.
If I had an ideal situation, I would, and if Soto was available, I would get him, and hopefully you don't have to give up a Peraza in a deal like that, and I would have my lineup be in Volpe, Soto, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Bader, Torres. I'd have Rortvedt up because I don't know what the hell that kid is also doing in AAA that he's healthy, and then Peraza at the end. I'd be very okay with that. I think that's a very big change. The thing about Soto is, and it might be even a moot point to honestly even discuss it because I'm also actually hearing more things about, the Padres looking to hold on to him. He's one of those guys that is so different than what we currently have.
Yeah.
He walks. He doesn't chase nothing. You put that guy in front of a healthy Aaron Judge, he's getting fastballs down to Johnson. All of a sudden, he's that monster we all expected. But here's a guy right there, Ben. I'm happy you bring Rortvedt up, man. He's in our damn system. And we still refuse to use the guy. He's healthy finally. I don't get it.
Might be the best player from that trade,
Yeah, 100% he is. It almost, I want to pull my hair out my head when I think about this stuff because I'm like, guys, do you guys really not believe in any of these kids? None of these guys are good? You mean to tell me that Ben Rortvedt right now does not make the Yankees offense a little bit better, at least at the bottom of the order? Come on.
It's unbelievable, Pete. You ready to dance it off? I'll try not to vaporize you.
I'll dance.
Game over, man. Game over.
I gotta get out of here.
Oh,
You gotta go.
I'm hiding from the numbers on my head.
Oh, sorry. Let me adjust that for you. I don't know why that's up there twice. These StreamYard apps, the StreamYard apps are just like they're wonky. Sometimes they work, sometimes they double, sometimes they don't. It's hard to be a content creator these days and have to deal with this shabby technology, man.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for joining me tonight. Had a blast on game season. Hope you'll have me back again at some point in the second half. Hopefully, once the Yankees start hitting and we have something to talk about and share over.
Until then, I will slowly descend into madness live in front of everybody.
Guys, I am taking the day off tomorrow. We got some family coming over, and quite frankly, I just need the day off. I've been working my ass off, and I just need a fucking day. So I'm going to take the day off. I'll see you guys Sunday. Ball game over. Appreciate it.
Most impressive.